Pick a number. The amount of money that would finally be enough. Got it? Now the hard part. You already crossed that line once, back when you had less. And it wasn't enough then either. The line keeps moving. You just can't see it move. Let me show you with a robe. A French writer named Diderot is handed a gift, a scarlet dressing gown. Deep red, elegant, perfect. He loves it. And that robe is about to quietly wreck his life. Not because it cost too much, because of what it did to everything he already owned. So here's what you walk away with today. You never arrive at enough by getting more. The line runs faster than you do? What happened to Diderot? He slipped on the robe. He looked around the study he'd been happy in for years, and started to hate it. Suddenly, the old chair looked shabby next to it, so he replaced it, leather now, to match the robe. Then the desk looked wrong beside the chair. Gone. The rug came from Damascus. New prints went up on the walls. A better table. One beautiful thing had made everything around it look cheap. So he upgraded the room to catch up, piece by piece, straight into debt. In plain words, the second you get something nicer, everything beside it drops a level. And now you have to lift the rest. You know this one. New phone. Now the case looks cheap. Then the laptop. Then the whole desk. New couch. And somehow the entire living room needs redoing. You think you're walking toward the finish line. You're actually just dragging it around the house with you. And it would be easy to write this off as one vain Frenchman with too much money. Except the same thing was happening to people who just won millions. In 1978, 3 researchers tracked down people who had just won big in the lottery. Then they compared them to regular people. And to a third group, people who had recently been paralyzed in accidents. You'd guess the winners were living on another planet of happy. They weren't. The winners were barely happier than everyone else. And worse, they got less pleasure from small things. A good meal, a sunny morning, a friend's joke. Winning had made all of it feel flat. The paralyzed group, nowhere near as unhappy as you'd expect. Here's the plain version. Whatever happens to you, good or terrible, you drift back to about the same level of happy. Your own baseline. Every time. That's the finish line. You sprint, you cross it, and within months it is quietly slid back to right in front of you. New car, new title, new city, same you, same line. So maybe the problem was never what you have. Maybe it's the wanting itself. If wanting is the enemy, then every ambition is poison. Clearly wrong, but one man untangled it. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Poverty was never about your bank account. It's the feeling of not enough. A billionaire can drown in it. A farmer never feels it. The enemy isn't wanting. It's wanting with no line. So has anyone ever lived that way, line drawn? One man did, and his name became an insult for it. Epicurus. We turned his name into Epicurean. Rich food, indulgence. The good life bought by the plate. The real Epicurus lived on bread, water, and a little wine. In a simple garden outside Athens with his friends. That was the whole life. Once he wrote to someone, "Send me a pot of cheese so I can have a feast whenever I like." A pot of cheese. That was the luxury. He wasn't punishing himself. He'd caught something we keep missing, that once your hunger is fed, more food isn't more pleasure. It's just more. So here's enough, in one line. It isn't the point where you finally get everything. It's the point where getting more stops adding anything. He drew his line at bread, water, cheese, and people he loved. And he crossed it every single day. So what's actually stopping you from drawing yours? Mostly this. You're trying to feel the moment you've had enough. And that feeling always shows up late, after the line has already moved. So you don't feel it. You decide it, on paper, cold. Before the raise, name the number. Before the upgrade, name the point where you stop. Write it down while you can still think straight, because in the moment, you won't. Seneca had a sharper version. He'd spend a few days living rough on purpose, cheapest food, roughest clothes, then ask one thing, is this the condition I was so afraid of? It almost never was. Once you've crossed below the line on purpose and come out fine, the fear that runs you, I can't lose what I have, goes quiet. And a quiet fear is a line that holds. So you draw the line before you run, not after. That can sound like giving up, like you cap your life and stop reaching. It's the opposite. and the man in the robe shows you why. Diderot worked it out too, but only after the damage was done. Looking at the debt, the redone rooms, the whole life he'd rebuilt to match a robe, he wrote a line about himself that still stings. He had been the master of his old dressing gown. He had become the slave of the new one. That's the trap in one sentence. The robe didn't serve him. He served the robe. Every upgrade after it was just him, chasing a line that a piece of red cloth had moved. You own things to serve your life. The moment your life starts serving the things, you've crossed a line in the wrong direction. So, enough was never out there at the finish. It was never a number, a title, a house. Enough is a line you draw. And the freedom was never in reaching it. It was in deciding, for once, to stop running.